What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tiny Tyler, and in today's video we are discussing Lanterns episode 2. It aired last night at the time of recording this, and if you haven't seen it yet, spoiler warning ahead because we're going to be reviewing and discussing the entire episode. So I'm absolutely going to ruin it for you if you have not seen it yet, so please click off the video. With that out of the way, let's get into it. And for anybody who didn't watch my episode 1 review and discussion, I just want to say this, give you a quick little backstory, a little preface that my relationship with the Green Lantern isn't a very vast one. I've watched some DC animated stuff growing up, and actually even in my adulthood, and so my relationship to the Green Lantern really goes as far as that actually explores. Now I have been noticing there's actually quite a bit of animated DC Green Lantern content on HBO Max, so I might go into it a little bit deeper because so far this show has piqued my interest tremendously when it comes to the Lanterns, and we're gonna probably get into some of that today. So first things first, I just want to say that Hal Jordan's fucking nuts. I love the way they have written this character. I absolutely love him. Again, with my limited relationship with the Green Lantern, I don't remember Hal Jordan being this fucking arrogant and bold. Going to the morgue, not even just going there, but breaking in and stealing all of the alien bodies. I mean, the whole interaction between him and Carrie with that situation was fucking priceless. It was so good. What's his name? Kyle Chandler, who plays him. Yeah, it's just such an amazing performance because he sells it so fucking well. So yeah, I mean, he's just so bold and arrogant, and I love it. That whole sequence was great, and I think it really creates a cool contrast between him and John Stewart. They really do seem like the complete opposing sides of what a Green Lantern is supposed to be. I mean, there's some necessity for what Hal is, being bold, as he calls it, fearless. I liked how Carrie pointed out in episode 1 that, it's because he doesn't have anybody. Because there's a level of truth in that. But his boldness combined with John's poise and his steadiness would probably make a really balanced Green Lantern. But anyway, I digress because I like how bold and arrogant they push him because it really creates this cool contrast between him and John. And I think it helps bring out John's characteristics and his heroism even more, or the qualities about him that could make him a good hero, because we actually haven't seen him fully in action yet, which actually brings me to the action sequence where he gets kidnapped. That was fucking awesome. It was a really solid sequence of events, the whole fight scene inside, the bird. Man, the bird was a really cool idea to keep floating around the entire time. I really think it was, and I mean, this feels like what they were actually going for. It feels like it was an illustration, of how worthy of the ring John actually is. So yeah, I really like what they're doing with John and Hal. The relationship dynamic I talked about this last episode in the last video, is really cool. I really enjoy that. I love when they bring two opposing characters together and it actually works. It's written well and it works. Their banter works. It's entertaining to watch. And, with the whole reveal at the end of episode 1, with Hal being dead, I've been listening to people online talk about how they think Hal might actually end up being a villain named PARALLAX. Now, again, limited information or limited relationship with the Green Lantern. So I've done a little bit of research to understand who this villain is. And based off what I'm gathering here, this sounds like a really cool storyline if it ends up being true. Because, it does set up the potential of keeping Hal around, right? So Hal's still there as, a DC familiar character, but now he's a villain. And it sounds like this villain could even be a big DCU villain. I mean, shit, if this show really does lead into Man of Tomorrow, like they're saying, and it sounds like Man of Tomorrow is going to be a team-up movie, not just a Superman movie, but a team-up movie, is this the villain? I'd be curious to hear what you thought, especially the comic book fans out there who are more familiar with the character of PARALLAX. If you'd like to share a little bit more down in the comments, I would love to read more about it, because again, what research I've done is very minimal, just enough to be able to talk about it here. I am not going to pretend to be somebody who is a Green Lantern specialist anyway. But now let's move into the Manhunter. Now, again, with such a limited information about the Green Lantern lore and mythology, I'm when they said Manhunter, I'm immediately thinking Martian Manhunter. My mind's they say shapeshifter. I'm getting excited because I love Martian Manhunter, but they say shapeshifter. and they say Manhunter, I'm like, immediately John Jones. Yes, bring in the fucking Martians. And then again, in my research, I came across the fact that this is actually, the Manhunters are some type of initiative that the Green Lantern Corps actually put into place. So naturally, I was a bit disappointed in that. But all the same, here's what I'm thinking with this whole plot line. I think, right, because William Macon has a benefactor who we don't know yet. I do genuinely believe that Macon is really for the idea of when he preaches about the settlers coming in and protecting their land and all that stuff, I think he like genuinely believes in that. But where it starts to fall apart for me is the fact that they have a massive property in the middle of Nebraska and they're worried about extraterrestrial threats. They're worried about aliens attacking. If aliens are coming, they're coming from above. What the fuck is your land going to do there? So like what I'm thinking is William Macon's benefactor is the Manhunter. And because he can shapeshift, because the Manhunter can shapeshift, Macon has no idea that his benefactor is actually the Manhunter. And this would make sense to me because where is he getting this tech from? And even Hal questions it. You know, in all of the places I've been to, I've never seen tech like this. So it would have to be something, potentially either somebody who has incredible amounts of wealth, which is definitely plausible because, you know, Macon has all this money, clearly, or alien tech. So what I'm thinking is Macon's benefactor is the Manhunter, but he has no idea. It would, as of right now, without it being somebody who is incredible, and, you know, even in some of the promo stuff we've seen, Macon has tech that is incredibly advanced. Sorry, lost my train of thought. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think Macon's benefactor is the Manhunter, but he doesn't know. Because again, I do think he's really I think he really believes in that ideology of like the notion he keeps bringing up about the settlers and that whole analogy. I think he really believes in that. So if he knew the Manhunter was extraterrestrial of nature, I don't think he would be doing the bidding work of it. So I don't think he's aware of it. I think the Manhunter shapeshifts into something that looks familiar and then supplies him with all the things. And because the Manhunter can shapeshift and become whatever it needs to become, it therefore has learned the ways of Earth, played the game, and has the resources that obviously William Macon has to do all the things that he does. Because it doesn't really add up to me just yet. Again, my whole idea here is that if Macon is so worried about aliens coming, like your land, I mean, land is helpful, but I feel like there would need to be more. Like bunkers and shit like that, or obvious tech, like a sniper rifle 1,000 feet inland from the gate doesn't really help against alien threats all that much. Because aliens can do, well, all kinds of shit. So that's where I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking as of right now. I would love to hear your thoughts on the whole idea. That's just like my theory moving forward. I think the Manhunter is the benefactor, and I'm sticking to it. So I think that's it, y'all. Let me know what you think down below. Drop your comments, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube algorithm stuff, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.